Hey friends, welcome to the Kids Ministry Circle podcast. Kids Ministry Circle is a community for kids ministry leaders to be encouraged and equipped to love and serve the local church. I'm your host, Lauren Jackson, and every year I sit down to record a state of the company type episode. It's a time for me to reflect and share about what I learned this past year, and it's a time for me to tell you about all the fun things we have planned for 2025. This past Sunday, I posted a quote on social media and it said, "Sometimes faithful and obedient looks a lot like last year's plans." What I meant by that is that it's okay to repeat the same events you did last year. Just because it's a new year, it does not mean that you need to reinvent the wheel or create an entire new event calendar. I know it's tempting. The world of resolutions and new things and new you feels very loud right now as we kick off a new year. Companies want you to switch to their curriculum or use this event to teach from or use this book or read this book with your volunteers. All of those are great things. We love the companies that are working to provide incredible resources for you and your volunteers. But it's also great to run it back and run the same play with greater knowledge, greater intention, and greater clarity. We live in a world of both and. You can create a new event and you can do a similar event to the one that you did last year. If you had an incredible fall kickoff or trunk or treat or gingerbread bash or an Easter egg hunt and you're like, hey, that worked so well, it's okay to do it again. You do not need to add in all of these new things. There is something really sweet about faithfully leading events that your families love. One is not more wiser than the other when it comes to creating something new or doing something the same way. You have the responsibility and the calling to decide what is best for your ministry. If things aren't working, then you have the freedom to change it. And those words feel very true for me. Kids Ministry Circle is only 3 years old. And if you've ever spent time with 3-year-olds, you know that they are both confident and clumsy. And they are both adventurous and predictable. As the founder of Kids Ministry Circle, I still feel very 3. Our little team has created some amazing resources and events and different things over the last 3 years, but we are also still finding our footing. Even amongst the world of kids ministry content creators, there is this temptation to look for the newest event or run the newest class or try and be the best at creating reels. Striving for those things is not inherently bad. And we are doing new things this year that I will talk about here in a little bit. But this year, we are working to improve what we do best. We want to stay faithful and obedient to the mission of Kids Ministry Circle. We want to continue to build a community for kids ministry leaders to be encouraged and equipped to love and serve the local church. That's what you're doing. There's a difference between loving the local church and serving the local church, and sometimes those go hand in hand and sometimes they don't. And so we want to continue to build this community so that you guys can continue to learn and be encouraged and grow as leaders. We do that primarily through our seasonal cohorts and one-on-one coaching. That is our sweet spot, and I love it. We had 70 leaders participate throughout the cohorts in 2024. That's the most we've ever had. And I am so filled with anticipation for what our spring 2025 cohort will look like. I want to continue to pour my efforts into making the cohort the best possible experience for leaders. And even after 4 years of hosting them, we are still tweaking them. We are still changing things to make it better. And that's due to a lot of the feedback that we get at the end of every cohort. I want to pour my energy into one-on-one coaching students. I want to help leaders build strategies, create game plans, and brainstorm solutions so that they can be better leaders. So for the most part, 2025 will be a lot of the same things. We'll keep posting encouraging things on social media. You'll keep hearing about the cohorts and the opportunities to participate in one-on-one coaching. And I'm okay with that. I want to live in what I believe God is calling for Kids Ministry Circle. But now we get to the fun part. I told you that we are adding a few more things in 2025, and I am so excited about it. First, if you are listening to this on the day that this podcast comes out, so Wednesday, January 7th, if you are listening to this past Monday, January 6th, we launched our 2025 VBS curriculum video. We did a VBS video back in 2023, and it still continues to be one of our most watched videos over on the Kids Ministry Circle YouTube channel. And so I decided to deep dive the top VBS curriculums on the market for 2025 and share what I would keep and what I would tweak for each one. And you guys, if you haven't looked at the VBS curriculum lineup for 2025, there are some incredible curriculums that are available for you to use for your ministry. For many, the VBS curriculum decision can be a hard one, especially with so many great curriculums to choose from. I hope that this video gives you some insight that's pretty neutral. It doesn't try and convince you to sway one way or another. I share my honest feedback. I tell you what the price is. I tell you what's included. I tell you kind of what I love and what maybe is not my favorite thing and part of each curriculum. And I hope that it helps you make a wise choice for what your church is going to do this summer. So that video is live. We're going to link it in the show notes. And so you can watch it today and start dreaming and planning up your summer 2025 programming. The second thing is our Creating Milestones That Matter course is officially launched. We hinted at it like way at the beginning of the fall back in 2024, and we slowly were able to get all the details finalized, all the videos edited, and it is officially live. We've been dreaming of this project for about a year, and it's finally available. I believe wholeheartedly in the parent discipleship strategy of milestones. And I believe that every church should have milestones established throughout their family ministry. I believe in it so much that we created a huge resource to help leaders create this type of strategy for their church. My friend, Matt McDermott, you know him if you've been listening to the podcast for a while, but together we put our family ministry brains together and wrote 7 lessons and so many additional resources. From child dedication to senior commissioning, you will have the tools at your fingertips to teach classes, equip families, celebrate kids, and connect the dots of faith formation from your littlest members to your graduating seniors. It is something I am incredibly proud of, and I hope that you love it. I hope that you sit down with your family ministry team, or maybe you're trying to launch something like this all by yourself. I hope it's helpful. Again, that resource is linked in the show notes and you can take a look at it. We've also linked the welcome video, and so you can watch that today to learn more about what this resource looks like. And lastly, we hope to plan more masterclasses and workshops this year. Masterclasses and workshops are a time of learning around a specific topic. We hosted a Countdown to Christmas masterclass this past fall, and it was so fun. Things like VBS workshops and masterclasses around specific hurdles that kids ministry leaders are facing are coming up in 2025. We want to provide more learning opportunities, but more importantly, we want to provide more opportunities from you to learn from one another. I meet kids ministry leaders all the time that are doing incredible things in their local church context, and I think they need to be shared. You guys have so many good ideas that when we get together in a masterclass or in a cohort or just in person grabbing coffee, I want you to share those ideas because somebody else can learn from what you've experienced and make their ministry that much more effective. As for the podcast, we will still be here talking to new people about new books, new research, new ideas, introducing you to my friends, to the people that I get to meet in the kids ministry world, and hopefully continue to equip and encourage you. Again, we love when you guys recommend podcast guests. If there is someone who you were like, oh, I would love for Lauren to have a conversation with him or her or with these leaders or with this team, send them my way. I'm happy to reach out and invite people to be on the podcast if it's a good fit. And we have loved hearing your recommendations and what you want to hear for this upcoming year on the Kids Ministry Circle podcast. This spring has lots of travel. If you are listening to this on Wednesday, the day that this podcast releases, I am currently at the Children's Pastors Conference. And so if you are listening to this and you are here, come find me because I want to meet you. But then I will be at D6 Southeast in the early spring. And then at the end of May, I will be at the Gospel Kids Conference in Ontario, Canada. And I am so excited. And so if you have plans to go to any of these conferences, let me know. I'd love to connect and hear more about what you are doing and how your ministry is going and all the fun things that you have planned. So there's the update. A little bit about what I've learned as we're heading into a new year and some new things that are here and things that are coming for 2025. We are grateful that you are part of this community. Whether you're listening here on the podcast, watching the YouTube videos, jumping into the cohort this spring, or making the big decision on investing in one-on-one coaching, we are so glad you are here. This community is one of my favorite things that I get to do, to talk to you, to hear stories, to encourage you, to share ideas, to send you book resources. It is so fun. And so don't forget, as we head into this new year, I want you to make sure you know of all the fun things that are coming. So if you're not on our email list already, I would highly recommend you use the link in the show notes to sign up to be in our email list. That's where a lot of the information goes first. If you have questions about the cohort or one-on-one coaching, just send me an email. Send it to questions@kidsministrycircle.com and we can chat about what that looks like for you and for your church. As always, you can follow us over on Instagram and Facebook at Kids Ministry Circle. Thank you so much for encouraging us and supporting us throughout 2024. And I cannot wait to continue to do it in 2025. Thank you so much for listening. We'll see you next time.